So let's officially start our meeting so that Mark can officially be late.
Yes, I agree.
May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ballard. Mr. Demakia.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Present.
Mr. Sturgill.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here. Let's see. Wait a minute, is that
6:31.
6:31?
Yes.
Pretty good.
It's gonna be fun.
Are you docking?
Yeah, we're gonna dock him. 30% of 0. So turn this off. At this time, do we have guests today? No guests because no students. Right? Yeah, I didn't know if there was somebody who was gonna lead us in there or not.
No.
Okay, so that,
You will.
So John, would you please come to the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any visitors? We will have here first hearing of the public because we are going to go into executive session for an early executive session. We will come out of that and finish the decision-making portion of our meeting, but there's some things that we need to be brought up to date on before we can do that. So at this time, if there's anybody from the public who would like to address the board, we would entertain that at this time. All right, if not, then I need a motion to go into executive session for updates on negotiated contracts and personnel. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Demakia.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes. And we will wait for Mr. Ballard.
Are we going someplace else?
Yeah, we're gonna leave you guys here. We're gonna go over to the kitchen. They've got some food prepared for us.
You better have.
Sure they do. Whatever was left over at the end of their MD.
For item D. Yeah. Roll call.
Mr. Smith.
What? Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Ballard. I had you coming in at 6:30. They're good. Mr. Demakia.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes. And we would like to welcome Mark Ballard to our meeting today.
Yeah. You need a motion.
Thank you for taking care of the lawn for me, as you so eloquently lied about it.
We have Nancy come up and introduce herself to the
Yes, Nancy.
Lorain community.
I don't want to say your last name.
Nancy. She's on the agenda tonight to be hired as an assistant principal for Lorain High School. Obviously, Phil Hatton took I guess he technically resigned because he'd already retired once. But we have a position opened up, and we got a chance to get to know Nancy a little bit during the interview process. And a little under the weather, but knocked it out of the park. Yeah, phenomenal. So a little bit about you and what you do and what brings you here.
I'm Nancy Lorain. This will start my 23rd year in education this year. I always look around for people to be shocked when I say that. No one ever is. Like, no way, there's not possible. So I spent 20 years in the classroom, 5 of them in Cleveland, and then I spent 15 years in Cuyahoga Heights Schools, which is right outside the city. Valley View is kind of where I tell people are, and I taught special education, students predominantly with emotional disabilities. I decided to take a leap and started administration. I was at Riverside, which is right outside of Painesville, which is like Erie, Pennsylvania, let's just be honest. It's a really far drive. So I started looking to come back to the west side. And when I started the interview process at Lorain, it just felt like absolutely like home the second that I walked in. It had such a great feel. It has such a good faculty, such a good community, and I laughed a lot during an interview, which isn't something that you usually do, you know?
Anna's not with us, which we weren't offended, but we understood, yes.
What?
Anna's not with us, but we get it.
Yeah, no, I do not.
I met those people before.
So I just need to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I promise to do a great job and work really hard for everyone here, so I really
And
appreciate
Nancy,
it.
I'm surprised you were here. I thought you were strolling across, was it Ecuador, right?
I leave Monday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so after this I am boarding a plane and I am going to Ecuador for 3 weeks. I will I'll do a really long hike, and then I'll go to the Galapagos, and then, I don't know, from there,
And
so.
you also walked across Spain, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
And you
there's
have a lot of stories to share with students.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, there's a really long walk, and I started in France and went to the Atlantic Ocean, so.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it'll be a really
She's also
great
bilingual.
adventure.
She's what?
Also bilingual.
Yes, yes.
That's
yes.
good.
So if you could do that again in Spanish.
No, no hands up. I can
Well, thank
try.
you very much. Fine chance for everybody to get to see you. Know you. Very excited about
All right, so
Joe?
may I have a motion to approve or amend the minutes from the meeting held on June 5th, 2017?
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes. Any old business for discussion? Moving forward, Mr. Hill, the report, recommendations of the treasurer.
Recommend for approval items 8.01 to 8.08.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion?
Well, I know you like history.
Um,
So,
Before you start, typically at our meetings, Jim is like the local historian. So you're bound to get at least one, usually, yeah.
two tonight. This is regarding 8.01. On May 27th, 1925. The Lorain Library Association was dissolved. And the library became a school district library. 2 days earlier, the Lorain Prohibition Council determined that anyone who had the smell of alcohol on their breath was violating the Volstead Act, which of course caused prohibition. So when they made that decision, they were probably all sober. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have to vote though, don't we?
Yeah, roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes. Thank you. And at this time, we have the report and recommendations of the superintendent. Dr.
Thank you,
Lorain.
Mr. Williams. I'd like the board to consider for approval 10.01 to 10.15.
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And I'd also like to walk on 10.16, which is the LAA contract.
The motion to walk.
Motion to walk on 10.16.
Support. Mark can have it.
Roll call?
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Motion to approve 10.16.
Discussion? Anyone like explanation?
Explanation?
Please.
We entered into negotiations with our administrative association and came to create a package that's consistent with what the other unions have received and tried to create ways to demonstrate respect for all that they do in ways that were not necessarily monetary, but in ways that were, in our minds, supportive of the fact they put a lot of hours, do a lot of work, and we truly appreciate their leadership.
With that, maybe a roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
I'd like the board to consider for approval 11.01 to 11.08 operations matters.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes. Report recommendations of the superintendent, done. That was 12, is there something under 12? There's nothing tonight? Any new business for discussion, gentlemen? I guess I'll kind of combine, we have some new business or new developments, and I'm sure everyone saw the exchange of letters of communication between us and the Academic Distress Commission. And we had invited actually the Distress Commission to meet with us today. There were some personnel issues we would share with them, and also just to have a general dialogue on how we want to look at our communication process going forward, to establish communications that are in the best interest of everyone, having understanding of mutual responsibility to the process going forward. They could not be here, not out of a resistance or anything, simply for all of them to meet, it is the same rules that govern us as far as Open Meetings Act, and with proper notification given, which has to be at least 24 hours for a special meeting, and they didn't have the opportunity to make a notification. Plus, one of their members, they have a meeting on tomorrow at 2 p.m., and that would have meant for her coming from Toledo on today, going back to Toledo, coming back tomorrow. And so there were some dynamics, logistics that were challenging, but we want to make sure that everyone understands going forward that we have confidence in the commission that was established in terms of their commitment and in terms of their integrity. We have some challenges we've had in certain communication pieces, which we are working through. And we have every reason to believe that just as we've been working in the past 4 years cooperatively with the commission, that will continue. And that we are clear with regards to our representing of our community, and that we are committed to doing what is in the best interest of students in this district, in the district at large, in our community. So people will see some hiccups, they will see some confrontations at times and challenges. That goes with the territory, and we aren't saying that those will never occur again, but we have reasonable ways in which we resolve those. And those are always to the resolution of what is best for the students and the families in our district. So we want to send that out as a word of confidence that we understand, and we are committed to doing the job that we were elected to do, and that's kind of where we are with that. So I appreciate all the board members, because we had lots of conversations and dialogue, and I think we represented ourselves in our district well. And I've had communication with Tony Richards and some other members of the commission. I mean, some of us have talked to them, and we're pretty clear that for us to be most effective as adults, we have to have effective communication, and have a certain level of regard for the entire process. So, any comments from any of my colleagues?
I agree, we need to work with them. I've assured Mr. Richardson that though I oppose the law, until it's proven to be illegal, it's the law. And I also informed the media of my position, and it's basically we have to work together for the kids. We do not want another Youngstown. That is a total train wreck. But with the fact that 4 of the commission members are Lorain connected, I think we're going to have a different outcome. Tony's an Admiral King grad, Patty's a Lorain High grad, John Monteleone's a Southview grad, and Dorinda is a teacher who's got children in the district, I understand. I don't know anything about the woman from Toledo, but I think we can do things. It's my understanding that the state would like Lorain to be the model. They don't want another Youngstown. And I got a call yesterday after the newspaper story from Senator Manning, who was kind of upset. And I assured her we were going to work together to make this thing work. And if we do that, and they do that, it will. It will. As the speaker, I don't know if any of you were at the Historical Society's annual meeting, but the speaker was another Lorain High grad. First woman to be president of the University of British Columbia. She actually had to get dual citizenship to become that. Born and raised in Lorain. Her maiden name was Cook. I don't know if any of you know John Morrison, the attorney, or Pat. Pat is is the sister. And she said in her speech, which kind of got me thinking a little differently, though, not that I think much, but I know you were going to say that. But she said this could be a golden opportunity. The state's coming in with money and ideas, and this could be the catalyst not only to turn the school district around, and I'm repeating her, not me, I agree, but it could be the catalyst to turning Lorain around. So let's hope we can all work together and make it work and see where we go. But Youngstown, again, I got a call again today from the Youngstown board member. It's a total nightmare. Nobody speaks. The CEO's a tyrant, a bully, and a dictator. Refuses to talk to the board. The board has a procedure to ask questions. If we get somebody like that, we'll have a war, probably. Anyway, thank you, Mr.
Yes, yes. Any other comments or any reports or requests? I would like to personally congratulate my daughter,
Yeah, congratulations.
Lindsay, who is a most recent graduate of Lorain High School,
And
was the first runner-up at the international pageant. Yes. So proud of her. And actually, Frank Whitfield's daughter was the second runner-up. The young lady who was the queen, fantastic family, great folks. And Mark Ballard's daughter, 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago or 3? Was the first runner-up. And it's an amazing opportunity for these girls. Being part of that when we sit down and talk to other families, it's amazing the journey that they've been on. We went to a breakfast on Sunday morning, and the past court kind of has their speeches, and they talk about their journey, their experience. Those gals, I think they did maybe 50 events over last year. So they traveled to all the different fairs and festivals throughout the county. Mark used to pull a trailer. We found out what we signed up for. It's like, oh gosh, is this what
you
goes
mean
with
like
the
it
way?
was strapped to your back?
Sometimes, sir.
That's how Jim and them used to do it. They had the mule.
I'd love to see that. You with the yoke on, wow.
So yeah, and again, it's really a thank you to the teachers and all the community who've supported these young ladies and contributed to them, because it's amazing listening to them talk. My wife and I were like, well, we put a lot in her, we would like to think, but there's a lot of remnants of things that we didn't do that her teachers and other people placed in her. And it's wonderful to see those things come together. And so I think it's, we're, as parents, we're all puffed up and proud, but again, from the perspective of a school board member or member of this community. And it's amazing what that festival is. It's 51 years. And I don't know, it's difficult to keep anything alive for 51 years. That takes a lot of commitment and work. So we kind of encourage the community, especially some of the younger generation, is find your place in that, because if it's going to be around for another 51 years, it's going to need a new group of volunteers and committed folks to
Well,
follow.
I know who the 69th point is going to be.
69th point.
Yes. Right there.
There you go.
All right, prediction is made. The notes.
But I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's your new one?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
And since you love history,
Guys, we got the second story.
the first queen of the international worked for Lorain City Schools for many years. I can't think of her last, Sandra, I think was her first name. Jeff, was she in your department or? Wake up!
Be careful.
She retired a couple years ago. But
What
she-
was also exciting is the pageant was actually held in Lorain High School.
Yeah,
this
that
year.
was great.
And they made it clear that they hope that this is the new permanent home for that pageant. And it was nice to have it was a wonderful time. And so again, thank you to our staff and everyone. They were very grateful in terms of the hospitality that they were shown. So.
Sandy Tree, Montana.
Sandy Tree, Montana, yeah, that was her, I can't think of her maiden name. She was the first queen. Who?
Anything else?
Yeah, Pong.
All right, our next meeting will be July the 15th. Oh, second hearing of the public. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? Please, sir, just state your name, go up to the microphone. And there should be some place for you to write your address.
John Schrank, 3936 Valley View.
That's good.
International is wonderful for the girls, but let's think of something for the boys to do.
You got any ideas?
I don't, that's why I'm asking. Just keep a thought in your head to get the boys involved for something.
Well, you could have a king.
Something.
Oh, you referred to the International Festival?
Yeah.
Ben Davey is the president, super gentleman. If you leave your information here, we'll make sure you get his number.
I
and-
saw him at the Sacred Music Night.
Okay.
I know who he
Please
is.
refer comments to those folks. One of the best places to get involved is they're always looking for community members to be part of their committee.
I was on the board of the International.
Okay,
But I'm just planting a seed because I've been kicking this around for years trying to find something for the boys to do.
great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Hey,
Hey,
how are you? Miss Lee, come on over and chat with us.
yes, I would like to chat with
You know you can. Come on.
you. My name is Rhoda Lee. I reside at 1904 West 22nd Street. We're glad to hear that there will be an open lines for communication between this board, staff, and the commission. That's been a great concern, I think, for people in the public and what we've been hearing. They want to know what the roles will be for this board and what the role will be for the commission, and how can the two come together in terms of doing everything that needs to be done here for our kids, because that's what it's really all about, our students here, from elementary on. Public is also concerned. We would like to see a lot of things happen, particularly on an elementary level, and programs there for our elementary students who are coming up in the ranks going into middle and to junior high school. You know, will that transitioning be where they will be able to go in, educated, go out into the workforce, and come back to our city? Because we've had a number, as you know, of students who have left, who have gone to college and who did not come back home. They went and sought employment in other cities, larger cities with different districts that they thought were better. The other thing is the transparency. And the people are called their concern too is the appointment of the CEO. I have my own ideas of what and whom I would like to see. Had a talk with Mr. Hager when he was here, discussing the search and what we needed to, and we had a very, very good dialogue. And I think people want to know and they're concerned and when it will be happen. And I feel with the board, working with the commission, that we will have some type of input from our board as to what. Like Mr. Smith, at first, you know, I felt that, and I still feel it's taxation without representation in terms of we elected you as board members to develop the policies and see, but them coming in, perhaps it will be, and if you could work together, because that's the most important thing, that line of communication. We can't do without it. And as far as the National Festival, I agree too, because one of the things, our band was marvelous yesterday, we went to school in the parade. But I would also like to see a car or float with some of our staff. Let the public see. You know, the people who we have here who are working with their children and for our children. Those people that were elected. I didn't see any of you guys out there.
I was a spectator.
You were you are a spectator. But, you know, there's things, and they were talking about, I don't particularly care for the comparison to Youngstown and Lorain. I think it's a whole different situation, and we do not have the problems existing in Lorain that they have in Youngstown.
No, because they did not do,
That's
there was
right.
no open meetings
No open
with
meetings,
the
no
search
dialogue.
agency in Youngstown. It was all done behind the curtains. There was no involvement of the board or the public.
That's right.
And there's one thing in the law that gets greatly overlooked, and it is this. The CEO has the power, I should say authority, to delegate back to the superintendent and the board specific items that he or she feels would be better handled. They don't have to be a dictator, they can delegate. And
That's what's
I didn't
important.
attend any of the AMA meetings, but I did do the email to the search agency and said, you know, you did a good thing by getting community input. It has to be someone who's a team player that will communicate with the community, will involve people. And that's who I think that's, if they look for that, then, and we get someone like that, it'll be a whole different,
Now, I have to let him know that we want someone who is really
good.
entrenched here in this community, that knows this community, knows the families, the cultures that we have to deal with. We
Right.
are an international city. Let's not forget that. And as such, we have to teach international at times. And be really, really concerned about our diverse cultures here. And that's most important. And we need someone who will come in and who will look at and do the total process that we have to go through and develop the policies that we need here in our district. That's it. That's it. Thank you.
So our next meeting will be Thursday, June the 29th, 5 p.m. right here.
For what reason?
We have some more things in terms of personnel, and then also we will have the team that did the survey, community survey, the data results from the online survey that was done,
Oh, the monkey thing?
yeah, to present that information to us, Survey Monkey or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that's when we will convene again, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody then. So may I have a motion for adjournment?
And what time is it?
5 p.m.
Here.
Here, 5 p.m.
So might not be the best report.
Perhaps it should be the media center?
Media center with the
So-
projection screen. and-
Yes, with all that, so that will be in the media center, where we have adequate technology.
Elevator working?
Hmm?
Is our elevator working?
According to Mr. Hawks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
I have a motion, I don't have a second.
I made the motion.
Support, okay. Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
No.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Mr. Williams?
I can do this. I can do this. I can give you two support, right?
Don't be scared.
Yes.
Okay.
Have a good evening, folks.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.